So not only do I think that greed is one of the reasons why we're in this economic fiasco to begin with, but also it has to do with the idiots in charge of our government, both historically and currently.
Don't play with me, ho. Go play in some traffic. Don't play with me, ho. This shit gon' get graphic. They say that I'm the blueprint.
Now, I was gonna do this, I feel like I always say this, I was definitely gonna do this in like an overall video, even in the live stream that I'm sure you probably have seen by now, depending on when I release this. But I knew that I just had way too much to say about this whole ordeal with companies acting like it's just pulling teeth for them to give some respect and fucking pay to the workers that literally make their business possible. We've been seeing so many graphs, so much information, so many statistics about the fact that wages have stayed the same. You know, I've showed that graph so many times. Wages have stayed the same, and production and profit has just continued to soar upward, right? For certain people, profit for certain people. You know, so what I think this pandemic did, and obviously it is an extremely dangerous one. A lot of people experienced some fucking heartache, lost their jobs, lost their houses, lost their family, lost friends and shit. Like, obviously the pandemic did that, but what I think one of the only positives, I guess you can say, from this pandemic is the fact that it got a lot of people in this country, I'm just talking specifically in this country, to slow down, to sit down at their house and think about it for a minute. Like, wait a minute. They got to think, I think, in ways that they never were able to do before, simply because they were on the hamster wheel of like going to work, pick kids up from school, you know what I mean? Take your ass back home, fix something to eat, go take your ass to sleep, and do the same shit over again. But I think the way that this pandemic, it just decimated all that shit, and it got a lot of people to sit down and think about exactly what they were doing for their companies, how much time they're spending at their companies, and maybe that made them think, you know, am I getting reasonably paid for this shit? But even before then, we already saw all these protests when it came to Amazon, all these companies, about how they fucking treat their employees, how they treat the people that work for them. Like I said, the people that without them, these big CEOs would not have the 10, 15 goddamn houses and yachts that they do right now, right? So now I think now that everyone has had a chance to think about that shit and sit their ass down in their house and really just, you know, I've seen so many people who found new hobbies, explored a side of life that they literally did not even have access to before. And now that, you know, things are kind of starting to pick up, even though I'm gonna show you this graph, like, it does feel this way, people are tired, but this is from the CDC, they're tracking the vaccinations and shit, so it's only like 40-30% of the country has really been getting into it like that. So, you know, now that things are kind of picking back up, people are like, now wait a minute. Like, I had all this time to think about this shit, and I'm going back to $7 an hour, $8 an hour. You know what I mean? It's not giving. It's not giving, sis. It's not the tea, whatever type of lingo you need to comprehend this shit, bitch. Like, whatever, that's not it. It's not it. And a lot of people are noticing this shit, and a lot of them are like, bitch, I don't have to take this bullshit. You know, I think that, even with this whole like online thing, not just OnlyFans, I feel like that's the thing that people jump to when they're talking about online stuff, but there's so many ways that you can make money online. There's so many ways that you can hustle and do things a different way, that these companies are really underestimating just how willing these people are to make sure that their asses are no longer exploited. You know, some people don't have a choice, and that's what a lot of these companies depend on, but some people do, and they're just like, bitch, I'm not doing that shit no more, or at least I'm staying out of that shit until y'all fix it, right? But let's just get into some of the actual tangible things that have been happening in the wake of all of this. Let's look at this. This is coming from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. The Executive Vice President and Chief Policy Officer Neil Bradley said this, and like I said, this is government. The disappointing jobs report makes it clear, this is what he's saying, that paying people not to work is dampening what should be a stronger jobs market. Now, I hate interrupting when I'm reading this shit, because but for me, it's crazy for you to be sitting here. Like, I showed you the statistics on how many people are vaccinated. The pandemic is still fucking happening. And he's saying that we should have a stronger jobs market. Like, first of all, like I said before, forget the fact that y'all treated workers like shit, y'all still do. we're still in the middle of a pandemic. What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? He said we need a comprehensive approach to dealing with our workforce issues and the very real threat unfilled positions poses to our economic recovery from the pandemic. One step policymakers should take now is ending the $300 a week supplemental unemployment benefit. Based on the Chamber's analysis, the $300 benefit results in approximately 1 in 4 recipients taking home more in unemployment than they earned working. So instead of, this is what the government loves to do. This is what America loves to do, bitch. They be dropping bombs on everybody else's country. You know what I mean? Interfering in everybody else's election, overthrowing motherfuckers in different countries and shit. But bitch, the moment that bitches want to make more than $300 a fucking week, they tell you to sit your ass down. They tell you to sit your ass down. For the life of me, and it's not even everybody. First of all, it's crazy to even have that mindset instead of taking your government ass and raising the fucking wages and raising minimum wage and shit. You bitches, Joe Biden want to come out here talking about, I guess in response to everything that has been going on, he said, we're going to make it clear anyone collecting unemployment who is offered a suitable job must take the job or lose their unemployment benefits. Now, what the fuck do you consider a suitable job? That's what I want to know. If these bitches are unwilling to raise wages and you already know corporate is all in the government's ear, okay? Instead of trying to invest in your own citizens and their lives and the fact that they just been through a goddamn pandemic, if you look through, you know, a lot of the shit that other countries did for their citizens, it just pales. Our shit pales in comparison to that. Like, instead of actually investing in people who need that shit, you bitches say, hey, guess what? If you think that you're gonna make more than $300 a motherfucking week in this shit, they extended that shit to September 2021, but the Chamber of Commerce was calling for legislators to cut that shit off right now. Immediate. They don't care how many people they fuck over. Instead of pouring money into these communities, you want money to fucking run around the fucking economy. How the fuck's that gonna happen when nobody got no goddamn money? You bitches bribed motherfuckers with a $2,000 check that just didn't even exist. You know, sitting in the fucking office that these organizers gave your ass. Talking about a $2,000 check that we didn't even fucking get. It's crazy to me. Now you have all these, look at these photos. Particularly, I want you to look at this Wawa one. It says this is previously, before they updated, I guess, $150 sign-on bonus essentially for coming through. Bitch, we're hiring. They say please come through. I mean, come back a couple months later, they're saying we $500 new sign-on, new hire bonus. Like, we're gonna give you $75 COVID vaccine incentive. They're just like, please come work. Look at this other shit. And it's some Wendy. These are just randomly pulled from social media, but it has been so, apparent that I just wanted to show y'all what the hell is going on. We all quit. Wendy's is closed, a particular Wendy's. Due to no staff, we are closed. Look at this shit. Attention Chipotle customers. Want to know why we are closed? Ask our corporate offices why their employees are forced to work in borderline sweatshop conditions for 8+ hours without breaks. We are overworked, understaffed, underpaid, and underappreciated. Almost the entire management and crew have walked out until further notice. And here are the fucking Dunkin' Donuts. They said that, we normally would be operating with 7 crew members, and now we barely got 3 in this hoe. So it's like all of this is going on. And then recently, now you're starting to see the response from mainstream media, which is another arm of the ruling class, obviously, and also the way that companies are responding. I saw one company say, hey, guess what, girl? Please come work, and we're gonna pay your college tuition. It's like, damn, y'all have all this money. All of a sudden, now y'all got some coin. All of a sudden now y'all got some money. And we already know college tuition, they love to do those kinds of things instead of actually paying you your fucking money, because it's easy for them to write taxes off when they do that kind of shit. So I want you to keep your eye out for that shit. But what I'm saying is, first of all, before I move on, it's absolutely motherfucking ridiculous to look at these people and say, hey, guess what? I know a lot of you, this is y'all lifeline, especially for those of you who've lost your jobs during this pandemic, or y'all just don't want to be taken advantage of and exploited by your fucking previous company. It doesn't matter, bitch, get your ass back to work. We taking this $300 a motherfucking week. And if people are making more off of the government, it's their own money. Let's keep that in mind. It's their own taxpayer dollars. You know what I mean? Ben Carson used our taxpayer dollars to buy a goddamn $30,000 fucking Dynastat, bitch. We can use the fucking taxpayer dollars to make sure that people don't fucking starve to death. The fuck are you talking about? Now these companies offering $500 sign-on bonus. I saw, let's read this shit. Let's just read this shit. There was apparently somebody who was paying $50 for somebody to just show up to an interview. Y'all are down bad, and that goes for that's because of years and years and years of pretending like you don't need your fucking employees, like you don't need your workers. What are you talking about? They are the reason why you're even able to collect a fucking profit in the first place, and underpaid they ask for the fucking work. Now on May 19th, I'm reading this shit from Vice. McDonald's cashiers and cooks in 15 US cities will strike on May 19th, a day before McDonald's has their annual shareholder meeting, and they're demanding McDonald's pay all of its workers at least $15 an hour amid a national labor shortage. In one store in Fayetteville, North Carolina, they're offering a $500 sign-on bonus. An owner of 60 McDonald's franchises in Florida is paying people $50 just to show up. That's the story I was talking about. Now keep in mind, they're gonna play this like they're struggling. Oh my God, we can't pay you bitches. McDonald's sales are apparently booming. Now I'm just using McDonald's because they have a strike coming up, and because they're just such an obvious representation of corporate America, right? So McDonald's company sales are booming thanks to demand for faster drive-through orders. McDonald's recently announced that it earned $5 billion in profits in 2020 and paid shareholders nearly $4 billion in dividends. So we know exactly where the money is going. It's not going to the bitches who are literally putting your product in the hands of your fucking customers. It's going to these girls who are snorting baby powder on the beach with their yachts. Like, stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. I think we're gonna see more strikes. I think we're gonna see more and more people pushing back. I think we're gonna see a lot of companies trying to spin this like it's somehow lazy citizens' fault that they don't want to take their ass somewhere and be exploited for fucking 6 hours a day and then not even have access to benefits. You see what I'm saying? Like, they're going to spin this shit. The leaders of these companies, the mainstream media is gonna spin this shit. But the bottom line, I just want everyone, including myself, to remember the bottom line is, if you treated people like they were fucking people, you know what I mean? If you paid attention to their needs, if you listen to them when they say, hey bitch, we dying in these fucking warehouses. If you listen to them when they say, hey, why is the productivity going up? Why is y'all profit going up? But we still getting paid the same amount. I mean, all while a pandemic is going on, rent is bullshit. Like, what do you bitches expect? If this shit continues, you gonna see more strikes. So it's either you fucking pay up or your stores are gonna be empty. Your restaurant's gonna be empty. And kudos to all these people who are striking. Hope y'all accomplish what y'all want to accomplish, even though I think, like, people have been asking for $15 forever. $15 per hour forever. And it's like, at this point they need more. Like, at this point they need more. Like, stop playing. Stop playing. Stop playing. If a job needs to be done and you bitches gonna whine and be sad when it ain't done, customers gonna be throwing a fit if they don't get what they want. Obviously it's an important job, right? Pay these people so they can live comfortably and then take their ass to fucking work. This whole work thing in general, but let me not even go that deep, but this is like, I cannot stand it, and I can't stand when they get up there. Like, it gives me like a sense of like victim blaming with these government officials who are actually supposed to be creating laws that make your life fucking easier, have literally stood in the way on purpose to make sure that your corporate takes a shit on you, it steps on your ass. If the conditions are that bad that people don't want to go to your motherfucking job, it's not their fault. That's a you problem, boo. That's the you problem, okay? Do not blame the citizens that have just, they're still suffering from a fucking pandemic. Y'all need to get y'all shit together, pay people like they're actually human beings, okay? And then maybe somebody will be not kind enough, gracious enough to donate hours of their life, not just day, their life, to your fucking company. Get out of my face. And on that note, make sure that you have a good goddamn evening.
Don't play with me. Don't play with me. Don't play with me.